Hey, how's it going? I'm Demi, and in this video today, I want to talk to you about how to get a job on cruise ships. It's a question I've been getting a lot lately, and I'm going to tell you how I did it, how I got my job on cruise ships, and I'm going to give you really what I think is the best way, the surest way to get a job on ships today, in today's cruise climate. We're also going to talk a little bit about the bad news if you want to try and get a job on cruise ships in today's climate. So all that's coming up. So if you're here watching this video right now, you probably saw my ship life documentary on YouTube. It has over 100,000 views now and counting. And it's just a documentary I filmed. I edited it on my first ship contract. And since then, I did 9 to 10 contracts. After that first contract, I worked on ships for 5 years. I worked on Royal Caribbean, on Celebrity, Carnival Cruise Lines, Holland America. And to this day, it is still one of the funnest things I've ever done in my entire life. But with all the comments that I got in that video and the personal messages that I got from that video, definitely the most popular question was, how can I get a job on cruise ships like you got a job on cruise ships? So really that's why I made this video, is to answer that question as best I can. Plus I want to talk about some of the scams that I think you should try and avoid out there. Well, when I first graduated from college, I didn't want to get a real job, right? I was one of those people, I didn't want to work in a cubicle, and I loved the idea of traveling. I wanted to go to some of these beautiful beaches I saw on the Travel Channel and, go to Rome and Greece and all these awesome places. But of course, it was way too expensive. There's no way I could possibly pay to do all of that stuff. So the solution that came to my mind was cruise ships, right? Get paid to travel. And besides wanting to travel to all these great places, I also just wanted to get out. I wanted to get out of my little small part of the world that I'd been for most of my life. And a lot of the people that I met on ships from all around the world, that's a big motivation that they said got them on ships too. They wanted to change their circumstances, whether that was getting out of the city they lived in, getting out of the country they lived in, and they also wanted to make money. I mean, that's obviously a big motivation to work on ships too. You can make a good deal of money and you don't have any expenses, really. I mean, you don't have to pay for your food on the ship. You don't have any rent or anything like that. Your medical is almost always taken care of, depending on the position you get. And, you can save a lot of money. So ships are great for that. But I had no idea how to get a job on cruise ships. I had no idea where to start even. So, I took to the internet. I tried to research it, tried to figure out how to do this. And once I started searching for some how-to on how to get a job on ships, I found some stuff, I didn't know if it was good advice or not. Eventually I came across this book online and it was for sale. It promised, the step-by-step way to get a job on ships, teaching you all about the process. I wasn't sure about it. It was like $50. I finally broke down, I got it, and it was really one of the best purchases I've ever made, because there's no doubt in my mind that book got me my first contract on cruise ships. Here's the bad news though, it's not available anymore. I just recently looked online to see if I could find it. Didn't see it anywhere. I just don't think you can get it. It's a shame really, because it completely laid out the entire process. I mean, it told you what jobs are available, the descriptions of those jobs, requirements to get the jobs. It showed you all the cruise lines and who you needed to apply to. It's a really, really good course. So it sucks that the guide's not available anymore. I kind of wish it was, but there is something similar that's available today, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But going through this whole process, what I found is getting a job on cruise ships, it's very similar in many ways to getting a job on land. You're going to need your resume, you're going to need your cover letter. You're going to do an interview. And in most cases, that's probably going to be a Skype interview or just some kind of a video chat interview. It might be over the phone, or depending on where you are in the world, it could be, they'll ask you to come in and have an interview in person. And really, I just followed along with what the guy told me to do. And eventually I got to the interview part of the process. And when it was done, the interviewer's like, okay, you got the job. And they said 80% of what got me the job was just knowing what to expect. But you know what? Here's the thing. Things are a lot different now than when I applied for a job on cruise ships. It's a lot more competitive because you can make a lot of money on cruise ships and you can, work in paradise. A lot of people have figured that out, and the cruise lines are getting a lot more applicants. So you truly do need to stand out. You need to stand out in your resume, in your cover letter. You need to stand out in your interview. And that brings me to one of the things you probably need to watch out for. You see, a lot of the sites out there, they know that the cruise ship industry is getting kind of competitive. They know that a lot of people don't know where to start. So you'll find these sites that will promise to put your application out to, hundreds of cruise lines. They'll promise to put you on some registry that the cruise lines will search through. And, they pretty much guarantee, oh, you're going to get this job, just give us $200, give us $300. Look, I can't say for certain, but in my experience, working on cruise ships for 5 years, I met hundreds of people that had gotten a job on cruise ships, obviously. I never once heard of someone getting a job through one of those sites. Now, that's just my experience. Maybe it does work sometimes. I don't know. But in my opinion, that's something you want to kind of steer away from. Seems a little shady anyway, right? Because, you just need to know the process, right? You need to know the process of getting hired on cruise ships. And depending on where in the world you're from, what position you're going to apply for, that process is going to be a little bit different. There's a lot of variables that go into it. And that guide, that I mentioned, it really did lay all that out. Like I said, it's not available anymore. But, recently I looked back online because a lot of people were asking me this, how do I get a job on cruise ships? And I sorted through a lot of the so-so advice, so-so stuff out there. And I found another guide. It's by a couple who actually worked on ships just like me. It has everything the guide that I bought back then had and a lot more. Plus, it's all updated to getting a job in the current cruise industry. It's so thorough. It's way more step-by-step instructions than I could ever give you for sure. And if you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description below the video here. Just click on the link. You can go read more about it, or you can just go to getshipjob.com. Getshipjob.com, and you can read more about it there too. Look, this guide, it's awesome. It describes all the positions that you can get on the cruise ship. It tells you the duties of each job. It tells you the requirements that you need to take care of, to even apply for the job. It tells you the salaries of the jobs. It mentions jobs in there that I didn't even know existed, and I worked on cruise ships for 5 years. And it's great to know all of those things because when you're specific about what position you're applying for, it's much more likely that they're going to hire you because, if you're not even saying what you want to apply for, they're just going to throw you in the rubbish bin, throw your resume away. It also lists every single cruise line that you can apply for, and in the guide, there's links that you click the link and it brings you directly to the company's application page. You don't have to search around for it, and you don't have to worry about applying to the wrong department within the company. And they even give you sample resumes and cover letters that are optimized to exactly what the cruise lines are looking for. You just need to adjust it and fill it in with your details, obviously, but it's pretty simple. One of my favorite parts of it is it describes how the crew life is different on each cruise line. So, you can apply to the ones that you feel are going to be the best for you. Because some lines, they're more fun for the crew. Other ones are more laid back. They're more relaxing. So depending on what kind of experience you want to have, that might determine, what lines you're going to apply for. But one of the best things of the whole guide, which this wasn't even in the guide that I bought way back when, they give you interview tips, what to say, what not to say. So it's pretty much a no-brainer for the interviewer to hire you. And again, if you want to find out more about the guide, just click on the link in the description below or head on over to getshipjob.com and that'll take you there too. And hey, full transparency here. I worked on cruise ships for a while. I was really impressed with the quality of the guide, the accuracy of it. I know the value of it. So I contacted the creators, Liz and Derek. They're a couple that worked on cruise ships too, just like me. And I set up a business relationship with them. So what that means is if you use the link below to get the guide, I will get a little bit of money from that. No additional cost to you. It doesn't cost any different no matter what you do. But if you do that, I do appreciate the support. And yeah, money's nice, but the reason I'm recommending this guide, it's the closest thing I've ever found to that guide that I got years ago, the one that helped me get a job on cruise ships. There's so many variables to getting the position, what job you're going for, where you're coming from around the world. It just helps to have that step-by-step process. And this guide, it's got everything that the one that I got had and more, and it's updated for the current cruise industry as well, which is absolutely necessary. So if you want a job on cruise ships, this is my absolute best recommendation for you. Again, you can just go to the description down below, click the link there, or go to getshipjob.com. That'll take you there too. And hey, once you've gotten that first contract, that first job on cruise ships, and you're running around like crazy through the corridors of the ship, working your butt off. Maybe later that day, you're floating around in some clear water in the Caribbean with a Mai Tai in your hand. Or maybe, you know, you're having an adventure in Tierra del Fuego at the bottom of the world. I would really love you to come back here and let me know about it, because I love travel and I love hearing about travel stories as well. In my opinion, you know, it's probably going to be one of the best experiences of your life. It's certainly some of the most fun and adventurous times I've ever had in my life. So I can't wait to hear about it. So hey, thanks for watching. Good luck and have fun traveling the world.